It's election season here in Canada, and Canadians are heading to the polls on the 21st of this month in order to decide who is going to be the next Prime Minister of Canada. As it stands right now, the polls show that all three major parties seem to be very close to each other, and this election could go either way. In fact, it's likely to end up being a minority government, regardless of who wins. However, as usual, when there's an election coming up in Canada, I do want to make a statement regarding that. Now, obviously, voting under capitalism doesn't achieve revolution, which is something that apparently nobody told many of the communist parties inside of Canada. But I digress. Obviously, there's no point in voting in anything that would forward socialism, because it's not going to happen. However, here's what I did want to say. Vote for anybody but Andrew Scheer. Now, the reason I say this is not in my own interests or in the interests of the Canadian people, but in the interests of the Third World, or specifically, in this case, Iran, who is a victim of Canadian aggression as well. Now, just recently, Iranian property was seized and auctioned off and given to victims of terrorism that was allegedly caused by Iran. Some of it claiming to be victims of Hezbollah, which isn't Iran, but I digress on that one too. Essentially, Andrew Scheer said previously that he would support a U.S. war against Iran, and that Canada would contribute to that war effort under his leadership. And for that reason alone, I think it's important not to make sure that Trudeau or Singh wins, but to prevent someone who is pro-war from winning. Now, of course, we understand not just as Maoists, but as Third Worldists as well. This is a principle held by both groups, that imperialism is the primary contradiction. And if you cannot vote in capitalism, which is obvious, then trying to minimize the damage done to the Third World is the best that we can hope for. Now, of course, a Liberal or an NDP government would still be hostile towards Iran, but it would not be a military effort. So in that regard, I'm saying that at least we should try to vote to try to prevent another war from happening. As it is, Canada's already bogged down in the entire mess that is the Afghan war, a war which we have already lost, but the political establishment doesn't want to admit it yet. That's wasted tons of amounts of tax money on a war that can't be won, and one that is just at the behest of Canadian mining companies anyway. So when you do go to the polls on the 21st, I'm not telling you who to vote. I'm saying don't vote for Scheer, because he would be the worst choice for the people who are victims of Canadian imperialism, even if that is only a junior position within that global order of imperialism. Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.